still an unbelievable environment. It's class, like some good stuff.
So just on the back of that environment, when was your first England call up and how did you find out?
First England call up. So weirdly, the way you find out is you just get added to a WhatsApp chat. So
no way.
Yeah.
Who
just
had
get
you?
added to a WhatsApp chat. So like the team manager of England at the time. You literally, so phone notification, added to, I think it was called like Summer Tour. At the time we were playing Canada and USA. And he just has all the info, like the schedule, meet here. And it's like, wow. Like, but
that's
how
the
mad
first,
is that?
that's the
It's not a
first you know
phone
about
call.
it.
Yeah. Literally added to a WhatsApp chat.
Were you expecting that though?
I would have been disappointed if I wasn't in there. I was sort of coming through that season, and obviously everyone wants to play for England, and I was really, I wanted that opportunity. But you never really truly believe it until it happens, and then getting that WhatsApp, it's like, oh my god. But even then, I thought, amazing. I'm in the squad. I'll go on the tour. I might play. I'll come off the bench here. Might not play, but just be around the environment and learn. And then ended up playing both the games, and it was just an unbelievable experience.
So what do you do as soon as you get that WhatsApp message? Like, what is the first thing you do?
I was actually at home, so I went straight to Mum. She was working in her office, and told her, which was nice, and then gave Dad a call. And as you can imagine, quite emotional that first time. But even then, that's not, you don't get your cap there and then, you get the opportunity to go and be in camp. But then actually stepping foot onto the pitch and pulling the shirt on was amazing.
That's unreal. So how old were you? Because I feel like you're only 23 now, aren't you?
Yeah.
And to me, I look at you and... But I look at you and I walk around do you know what I mean? I walk around Leicester Tigers Stadium and I see pictures of you all over the place. Like, turn on, you're starting in the World Cup for England. Like, you're literally you're all over everywhere. It's like you've been playing for a lot longer. It's like you've got experience so much upon your years here. So, how old were you?
I was 20 years old. 20 years old.
So you're still going back to university. You're still at university, playing for England, playing 30 week in, week out for Leicester Tigers.
Yeah, it was bonkers. It honestly, looking back on it, it was a crazy sort of time, and I didn't really, it didn't really sink in. It never does, because you're in it so much and you're around it and it's all going on. You don't really appreciate what's going on until you get out of there. But I loved the separation of doing that, and then I could just go back to uni with my mates who I live with, and we just get on with life, live a normal life.
Did you feel like your life changed instantly though after that? Because did your friends start looking at you different? Did people obviously for rugby, you're very much in my rugby community, and as soon as you get your England call up, you're playing for Leicester Tigers week in, week out, you're going to start getting recognised. So especially around here, living in Leicester, were people stopping you in the shops asking you for pictures? Was that weird? What was your first interaction?
It wasn't too much of that, to be honest. Obviously, when you're around places like this, the Leicester fans are amazing, and weirdly you see them everywhere. I think I've been on holidays and seen people walking around in Leicester Tigers shirts. It's honestly bonkers. This fan base is amazing. But I don't feel like too much changed, and I guess that part of that is who you hang around with, and I'm fortunate I got a load of classmates who just, were just the same way we had been before, and that was that really. You just crack on, and you get stopped here and there, but it almost felt weird. It was quite, I just chuck a ball around on a pitch, and and then you get a bit of that, but no, it's so nice.
What was it like at uni? After you made your debut, walking about the halls, or whether you're in class, what was that like?
Can I just say, I think because on your standard, playing for the men's England rugby team, walking around the halls and playing for Leicester Tigers, did you think that the lecturers would treat you different? Because I played for England universities, and as soon as I got called up for England universities in rugby league, I saw the people on the sports campus oh hi, how are you? Do you want to do this? Do you want to represent the uni doing this and that? But that's nothing in comparison. That literally means nothing. So playing for that actual men's England team at 20 years old, Leicester Tigers.
Walking about uni.
Yeah, walking about uni. With your books, you're not even in final year.
Red Bull.
For me, uni was my almost escape from all that. So, I had rugby, I had Tigers, obviously that summer tour, and then for me, uni was my route to sort of forget all that and my distraction almost. Because if you let rugby take over, it's all you think about, and because you're in every day and you're working every day. Or for me anyway, if I'm thinking about it 24/7 non-stop, I almost probably don't enjoy it as much. I like being in that rugby bubble, and then I like that separation. I can hang around with my mates and spend time with them and family and stuff. So uni was almost like my escape from that. You know, I had another focus with my degree and my work, and then I come into training and it'll be all rugby.
That's unreal. So you said as well, like just pushing it back as well, but you were expecting your England call up. Were you expecting your Tigers call up as well?
No, not really. Well, the first time, so this is a weird story. The first time I ever played for Tigers, so I was at school, and they had a bit of an injury crisis at 15, and I hadn't really trained with the senior team much. And Geordie Murphy was the head coach at the time, and he called me up and said, "Look, we need you to be a travelling reserve for the Premiership game away at Sale."
old?
I would have been 18 at that time. And so I said, yeah, so travelling reserve, basically you go, you warm up, but you don't play, you're not in the 23. So I was like, oh, amazing, like to experience that, like a day travelling, warming up with these guys, like Premiership, unreal. Get to Sale, start warming up, and then George Worth, the fullback who was starting, got injured in the warm-up, so I saw him sort of limp off.
What was you thinking?
And I was thinking, oh my God! Like, but even then, I was like, oh, I'm sure he's fine. Like, I'm sure he's fine. And then Geordie put his arm around me as we were walking in, was like, "You on the bench?" And then I'm thinking, oh my God! Like, I'd only played in the academy. I'd only played like academy league. I never really played any senior men's rugby. And to then be thrown in like a Premiership game.
It's a big step up as well, isn't it? It's a massive.
And I got thrown on in the 76th minute. We had they had possession. They kicked it in behind me. I picked it up in front of our try line, got whacked behind the try line. 5 minute scrum sale, and they scored. So it was a baptism of fire. Like, it was, not my finest.
Well, you know what?
Debut.
Even though that happened, I bet you got off that pitch and you thought, if that's all it is, then at least I made my debut. Yeah. Because how old were you when you first started playing for Leicester?
Would have been off academy I've been playing through Leicester. Academy properly was about 16, 17.
So you worked for it, mate, like Leicester, Bron and
yeah, well, it's all I've supported Leicester from a very young age. Always did the outreach centres back home in Norfolk. Like, Leicester was my club, so to be able to go out there every other week and in front of all those
stadium
stands,
and unreal fan base.
Mate, I always say it's the best in England. Like, whatever anyone says, I'm sure boys who don't play for Leicester and play here as an away game appreciate the atmosphere. Like, it is incredible.
I can tell the difference as a fan coming here to like other stadiums, because I think the atmosphere here is amazing.
You've got quite a good stat about